Okay, Ultimate Performance Formula, the proven three-step formula to transform your energy and performance in 90 days or less by myself, Dr. Danny Scahill. A little bit about me for those of you that are meeting me for the first time tonight. So, ever since I was about 3 or 4 years of age, I've always been very, very ambitious. I'm sure a lot of you guys as business owners and entrepreneurs can relate to that. So from that age, believe it or not, I actually wanted to be a lawyer. Well, that's what I thought at that time anyway. And things were about to change. So what's my reason why I do the work that I do today? Well, you can see there is a picture of my younger brother, and he's just a couple of years younger than me. Way back when I was 9 years old, I had some news from my mother, and it was about my younger brother, the guy you see in the picture there, my younger brother Neil. My younger brother Neil was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. That is a form of autism, for those of you that don't know, but most people have tend to hear of it these days. That was a day I'll never forget. That was really emotional. I remember my mum saying to me, Daniel, Kieran, to my other brother, your younger brother he's not the same as you guys. He's handicapped. I remember crying my eyes out, thinking, that's such. It just really upset me, and I vowed to look after him. I remember vowing to my mum, even at that age, I said, "Don't worry, I'll always make sure that he's looked after." And in addition to that as well, I've been very lucky in my life. I've never wanted for anything in my life. Been very lucky. So I want to make sure as my parents age, obviously they're getting a bit older now, I want to make sure that they want for nothing as well as they age. So that's why I do what I do. And so the story continues on. How did I initially get into chiropractic before I got into the health coaching? Well, if I fast forward to when I was 15, like a lot of chiropractors, I was injured to start with. That's what got me into chiropractic. I injured my shoulder when I was really young. And overnight, I went from playing football twice a day, every day, doing kickboxing 3 times a week, and also karate at that point as well. I went from exercising loads to not exercising at all. For those of you that do exercise a lot, you'll realize that exercise is very good at de-stressing you and keeping you calm. So I went from from exercising multiple times every day to exercising not at all overnight. At that time, I was studying for lots of exams, and I got really depressed. Not just depressed, clinically depressed. There's a huge difference. It's a lot worse. In spite of all of this, I managed to pass every GCSE though, which was fantastic. I did obviously make a few changes along the way to manage my mind, manage my body, and I also talk to people as well. It's handy if you speak to people if you're having issues. So a lot of teachers and stuff helped me out, and they were very understanding, which was great, as were my parents. So why chiropractic? Well, when I had this injury, I mean, it was there for a long time. I tried a lot of different things, but I had to do something about this. I just couldn't go on suffering for so long. So not knowing any different at that age, being around about the age of 15, then I went to see a physio for 6 to 12 months. And for me personally, that didn't help me at all. It does help some people, of course, but it didn't do anything for me. Then at the age of 17, the next thing I tried was osteopathy, and that helped me a lot. It really did. So much so that I cancelled my application to study law at university. Sought out a chiropractic college in the UK. I went to osteopathic college for 3.5 years, almost finished that program, could see the finish line, and the college closed down. Then I went to study chiropractic for 5 years, became a doctor of chiropractic, been in chiropractic for well over 10 years now, 15 years in chiropractic. Um, and my grounding in chiropractic of human wellness led me to do what I do now. I still do practice chiropractic at this point, but I'm also a peak performance expert as well, which is what we're predominantly going to be talking about tonight. So my coaching and mentoring is a strong chiropractic philosophy of health. I'll outline more what that means as we go through the presentation tonight. So I've always looked at health from a holistic perspective, and I've helped many of my patients, friends and family totally transform their lives and of course their health. Over the years, my patients have urged me to make this information accessible and available to as many people as possible, which led to me ultimately creating the Ultimate Performance Formula. In short, it's all about three things: eat well, move well, and think well. So within coaching, there's a lot about communication and there's a lot about influencing people to make those health choices. So I've been in the health and wellness arena, as I talked about before, for over 15 years now. I've studied a lot of things, including leadership, personal development. I've been a student of that since I was about 12 or 13. Business and mastery, NLP training. I'm also an NLP practitioner and coach. I've spent tens of thousands on my education with the likes of Dr. DeMartini, very famous chiropractor. You probably recognize his name from The Secret. James Chestnut, a mentor of mine as well. Tony Robbins, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with Tony. T. Harbecker, Chris Howard, and one of my current mentors, Daniel Wagner, as well. I've interviewed over 20 world-renowned health experts and lots of other experts in lots of different fields as well to find out what was successful for them, what helped them to be successful both in their health and their life. So eat well, move well, and think well. Let's elaborate on this a bit more. To be truly healthy, you do need to do just that. You've got to address those three key areas if you want to be truly healthy. Eat well is obviously optimum nutrition. You've got to eat the right stuff. You've got to put the right fuel in the engine of your body. You've got to move well. You've got to do innate exercise. In other words, exercise that our bodies are designed to do, and enough of it. We've got to think well. We've got to have the peak performance mindset. All of these will be elaborated on throughout the presentation. So let's talk nutrition. 3 components to nutrition. Ingestion. If you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. It's quite simple. Most of these processes and strategies and ideas tonight are pretty simple. You've just got to do them. It's quite simple. Okay? You've probably heard the phrase, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's very, very apt and very, very true in health and wellness. The second thing is digestion and absorption. So what it's basically is, does it get broken down right, and does it get delivered to the right body parts and to the right organs and the right systems? And then is it utilized? How is the food absorbed? Is it absorbed? Is it used, stored, and eliminated? Because you've obviously got to get rid of the waste as well. So elimination's very important too. So over the years, physicians and also nutritionists, they've been convinced that coronary heart disease, what I call CHD from now on, diabetes, hypertension, several types of cancer have been massively increasing in the last 100 years due to the Western diet. The Western diet is nothing like what our ancestors ate 10 and 20,000 years ago. They ate what I call the innate diet. It's what we're supposed to eat. Our genes have not have not changed in this time, but our diet and also our environment has changed dramatically. Enter disease. 5 most important concepts to be established. Our genes are programmed for health, and toxicity and deficiency affects our genetic expression, which leads to sickness. It is not faulty genes that cause it. You probably see that in the newspapers and on the news if you watch the news or read the papers. They talk about genes. They've found a new gene for this, a new gene for that. One gene always makes me laugh when they bring it up. Oh, we've found an obesity gene. Do me a favor. This is just so ridiculous. It's the fact, what actually happens is your genes are either switched on or switched off according to how your lifestyle is. If you've got a good lifestyle, the good genes that you need are going to be switched on, and the ones that cause you problems will be switched off, and vice versa. Like I said before, most of the concepts are pretty simple. Our genes haven't changed at all, if at all, a tiny bit in 10,000 years or more. Our ancestors didn't die of diseases of lifestyle. They just didn't. Life was very different for them. The only difference really fundamentally is that we are toxic and deficient where they were pure and sufficient. Diametrically opposite to what most of the human race is on the planet Earth today. The 5th one is that modern illness is due to environment. Yes, you've heard me say this a few times already. The reason being it is so crucial. It's our environment, guys. It's not the genes. Toxicity and deficiency. Most people are chronically dehydrated. How much water is enough? How much do you need? In fact, type into the question box how much water is enough and also how much you currently drink per day. Let's just do a little survey. Okay, some people are drinking 2 litres a day. That's good. We still need a lot more than that though. Some people, let's see, James, 1 litre. Definitely dehydrated there, James. And then Chris, 2 to 2.5 litres. That's better. But what we really need, guys, is 3 to 4 litres of water a day. It needs to be a good quality filtered water as well. Tap water has just got so much crap in it these days. It's doing, in a lot of ways, it's doing you a lot more harm than good. So yeah, drink more water. And the next thing as well there, as you can see on the screen, is most people eat way too much meat. They eat too much fat and also cereal grains as well. Grains are a real problem. And obviously, this probably doesn't surprise you. People eat far too little vegetables and PUFAs. PUFA stands for polyunsaturated fatty acids. People just don't eat, consume anywhere near enough of that. Acid-alkaline balance here is key. So let's have a look at what all that is about. Humans are metabolically acidic today. What does that mean? I'll elaborate on the differences between acidity and alkalinity in a second. Huge difference there. Our ancestors were metabolically alkaline as opposed to today most people are metabolically acidic. pH neutral is the goal. Your body will do everything it can to the detriment of everything else to bring your body chemistry and your blood chemistry back as close to neutral as possible. It's quite simple. It has to, otherwise you'll die. There's one place in the body that is supposed to be acidic, and you quite probably a lot of you will guess it is indeed the stomach. The stomach requires fairly concentrated acid to be able to break down foods and drink that we consume. Nowhere else in your body is supposed to be acidic though. The body has two ways primarily of neutralizing the acid in your body. One is it takes calcium out of the bone, and two is it takes magnesium out of your tissues, your soft tissues, also your blood vessels. So it takes magnesium out of the muscles and the connective tissues. Also takes magnesium out of the blood vessels as well. What magnesium does, or one of its many functions, is to relax tissues and muscles. You take magnesium out the muscle, you're going to get tight muscles, you're going to get sore muscles. You take it out of blood vessels and you are going to get constricted blood vessels, which means high blood pressure is a distinct possibility there. Because you narrow the blood vessels, the blood pressure is going to go up. I'm sure you can see the correlation there. The calcium that neutralizes the acidity as well by taking calcium out of your bone. Calcium out of your bone equals osteoporosis. These are things about chronic acidity. It's what happens in your body, guys. Let's have a look at the acid-alkaline chart, because indeed the modern diet is full of acid-producing food and drink. So you can see on your screen there the acid-alkaline chart. On the far left there you can see it's most acidic. Then on the far right, most alkaline. In the middle you've got the food category. All the way down there you've got the different categories of food. You've got sweeteners, fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, seeds, oils, grains and cereals, meats, eggs, dairy, and drinks at the bottom. So if we have a look at the top left there, the most acidic is things like NutraSweet, aspartame, all these different sweeteners. Very, very, very bad for you. If you must have something sweet and you had the choice between sugar and sweeteners, choose sugar every time. Obviously, ideally you want to be having a natural sweetener, but sugar is far, far better for you than NutraSweet and all these other sweeteners which are known carcinogenics. In other words, they're known to cause cancer. So stay well clear of those. And if we go down to chocolate, you can see that is heavily acidic when it's broken down. So it's causing your blood chemistry to go acidic. And also we look a bit further down, you see there's peanuts. And then right at the bottom there, or nearer the bottom, you see we've got wheat, white flour, white pasta, pastries, white rice. You see all of these different processed foods on the white side, in other words, anything that's white, is heavily or highly acidic, acid-forming, acid-producing. I like to use the term white is shite. Some of you may have heard me say that before, and it really is. It's heavily processed and it's got very, very little nutrition in it. If you look further down there as well, you can see you've got all red meats. You've got beef. You've got lamb. You've also got white meats as well, the chicken and the turkey. And further down, you can see there's milk, dairy, all other dairy products, heavily acidic. And right at the bottom there, you've got alcohol. You've got soft drinks, coffee. They're all highly acidic. On the far right-hand side, having a look at the most alkaline, you can see right at the top there, the natural sweetener, very, very alkaline, is called stevia. Very good for you. Different way of sweetening drinks as well, which is actually good for you as opposed to the opposite. You've got further down, you've got lemons. You've got limes as well. Now, that's some people think is a contradiction, because before you eat them or before you consume them, obviously lemon and lime are very, very acidic. That's not the point, though. The point is, what is it broken down into once you consume it? And it's broken down into strong alkaline. In other words, it's going to alkalize your system and neutralize your system, get it away from acidic and move it towards alkaline. So it's very, very good at alkalizing and cleaning your system. Lower down than that, you can see pretty much on the far right hand side, the alkaline side, you've got pretty much every vegetable and lots of different fruits as well. Very good at alkalizing your system. You've got broccoli. Broccoli is a superfood, a super green, as is spinach. Very, very good for you. You've got, uh, pretty much every vegetable there is on the right hand side, and a lot of fruits as well. Down at the bottom there, you can see green tea is alkaline. It's far better for you than teas and coffees and whatnot. Herbal teas, most of those are alkaline. Lemon water as well. Pints of water with a slice of lemon, very, very good for you. Hot water with a slice of lemon, very good for you as well. So there's loads of different things that you need to take into account in your diet. And as a rule, I would say alkaline foods should make up 70% of what's on your plate. Go 70-30, alkaline 70, acid 30. So 70-30 or even 80-20. But if you aim for 70-30, that's a good ballpark starting point. What are the consequences of acidity then? Well, there are many. Osteoporosis is one. Hypertension or high blood pressure. Arthritis. Aging rapidly. There's a really good book I'd strongly recommend you read. It's called The pH Miracle, and it's by Dr. Robert Young. He really pioneered the work on the alkaline lifestyle. Something that's really key is focus on adding. If you're trying to make changes, whether it be in your diet, in your exercise regime, or in the way you think, your mindset, focus on adding good stuff in. So when we talk about foods, add in some good foods. Focus on what you can have as opposed to what you can't have. Do not focus on what you can't have. That's really, really crucial. The same applies to all habits. When you want to change them, focus on adding in the good stuff to crowd out whatever the bad habit is or whatever the bad food that you want to stop eating. When I say bad, I obviously mean unhealthy. Next thing we look at is the moving well aspect. So we've covered part of eating well, the moving well next. So 10, 20,000 years ago, hunter-gatherers were very, very active. If they were sedentary, they would cease to exist. They would have been killed by whatever animal they were trying to hunt. If they stood still, that animal would win, obviously. The human gene, as I alluded to before, hasn't changed in this time. Our environment has changed dramatically, causing abnormal genetic expression. That results in cancer, heart disease, obesity, diabetes and depression and lots of other things as well. We've got toxicity and deficiency of exercise as well as in nutrition. What does that mean? Well, we can become toxic and deficient in the exercise, and we need to move. We really need to move. Most people in the Western world do not move anywhere near as much as they should do. Movement is an essential nutrient. Equally as important as the food that we put into our body is how we move. As a species, we were designed to move, and when we don't exercise, a whole host of problems arise. Let's look at the energy expenditure comparison of our ancestors compared to what most people in the Western world do today. The Paleolithic male versus the industrialized male, that's basically our ancestors versus us. The Paleolithic guys, 4,000 calories per day, of which 2,000 calories were expended on physical movement. Industrial age, or us guys today, 2,700 calories a day, of which 696 calories are expended on physical movement. You can see there that is pretty much the Paleolithic guys, 3 times as much movement as us. They were far more active than we were. It's a similar story for the females, Paleolithic versus industrialized. 2,500 calories a day, of which roughly half of that was expended on physical movement. And today, 1,700 per day, of which 435 expended on physical movement. Roughly again, Paleolithic women, 3 times more movement than the women today. So I'm sure you can see how that can be problematic. Fact of the matter is, sitting is killing you. If you happen to be sat down now, do yourself a favour and stand up and have a good stretch, because really sitting is for your spine what sugar is for your teeth. So if you're not already on your feet, get on your feet, guys, and reach up to the sky with both hands, have a good stretch, and then bend forwards as if to touch your toes. Have a good stretch in there. Don't force it if you are stiff, just get a bit of movement in there, and then come back to straight, and then take your right arm and slide it down the side of your right leg towards your knee, and then the opposite way back to the left, and then back up to the middle, and then twist around to your right side, and then twist around to your left side, and then have a seat again or stay on your feet. It's entirely up to you. Now, we need to move for many, many reasons. Let's have a look at how exercise affects brain function. Movement deficiency or a lack of exercise inhibits proper brain function. How does it do that? Well, the sedentary lifestyle or sitting down is associated with lower cognitive skills. In other words, you don't think as well. Your brain doesn't process information as well as it should do. Whereas studies have shown the high levels of physical activity were associated with reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease and many types of dementia. Exercise and cancer. Did you know inactivity increases the risk of cancer? You've probably heard of that before, but how does it happen? Well, there's a few little points to go through here. It slows down digestion. In other words, it maximizes the time with the potential carcinogens in your gut. There's an increase in circulating insulin. Remember insulin resistance? Well, obviously I haven't covered that on this presentation as of yet, but insulin resistance in itself goes hand in hand with the acid-alkaline balance we were talking about. When there's insulin resistance, it's a very acidic environment in your body, and insulin resistance causes similar things to acidity. Causes the cancers, the heart disease, the diabetes, osteoporosis, all of those different things. The common sort of 4 or 5 big killers in the Western world all relate to insulin resistance, and they all relate to acid forming diet, highly acidic body, blood chemistry. So you've got hormone levels get altered as well when you're inactive. It's going to affect the risk of cancer, of course. It also depresses your immune system when you're inactive. Depressed immune system, obviously your body's not able to fight off the cancers as well as it usually would do on a daily basis. It's also going to modify bile and stomach acid metabolism as well. All of these things together combine to increase your risk of cancer through inactivity. Are you thinking you need to exercise more? Sensible decision. Exercise and cholesterol. This is a really interesting idea, which some of you may have heard, some of you may not. Good cholesterol, HDL, and bad cholesterol, LDL. You hear people talk about good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. I'm sure you've heard that before. You got physical activity actually decreases HDL. Sorry, physical inactivity decreases HDLs and increases LDLs. That's a deadly combination. The opposite end of the spectrum, the physical activity increases the HDLs, the good cholesterol, and decreases the bad cholesterol, the LDLs. Cholesterol is required to produce hormones in your body. It's very, very important for almost every cell in your body. And when cholesterol is artificially lowered by medications, it causes many, many side effects, as the cholesterol often becomes too low. There's loads of side effects, of which depression, muscle soreness, and exhaustion and chronic tiredness are all very much involved in that. There's a list as long as your arm. They're just a couple as well. Another thing as well, suicidal thoughts and suicidal tendencies are very prevalent, unfortunately, with cholesterol medications. So let's have a look at thinking well, the positive mindset, because this is very, very key to success in any area of your life. And even more so than anything else, really, it is absolutely crucial if you want to express true health and vitality. Negativity creates abnormal expression of your genes, and your body adapts. It all comes back to the stress response. Your body adapts to maximize your chances of survival. Just to elaborate a little bit on what the stress response actually is, you've probably heard of the fight or flight mechanism within your body. Now, if we look at the hunter-gatherers, let's say they were out in the jungle and they were hunting for the dinner. They were hoping to catch an animal, kill that animal, bring it back to the family, and then they have dinner for however many days that lasts. Now, so they're in the jungle, and they're just at a water hole trying to get some water, and across the way they spot a tiger. So the adrenaline starts to pump because this tiger is possibly going to try and attack and eat the hunter. So the adrenaline spikes and the fight or flight response kicks in. So there's two things to do. There's either fight or flight. In other words, run away. So this stress response kicks in and the adrenaline starts pumping, and the hunter, most likely if he's sensible, will run away rather than try and fight the tiger. Now, this stress response is very, very useful in that situation because it helps you do one of two things: fight or flight. Fast forward to the Western world today, we still have those same stress responses, but that stress response is not to help you run away from a tiger to save your life. It's stress at work, stress at home, usually a bit of both, physical, chemical and emotional stresses. Depending on how well you eat, move and think, you have a lot more of the stress response to deal with. Now, the stress response in your body is not designed to be constant, but in the Western world today, most people are stressed out to the max constantly. It's just relentless. That stress response causes a lot of problems for you because it's constantly releasing adrenaline and a lot of other chemicals that if your body doesn't get rid of, it's going to cause your body to wear out way quicker than it should do. You're going to develop a lot of diseases and sickness way before your time. I hope that makes sense. If anybody would like me to explain that a bit more, I'd be happy to explain it again at the end tonight, guys. So just to recap there, we are programmed for homeostasis. That's a big word that you've probably heard of from school, which means balance, brings everything back into balance. That's what the ultimate performance formula is all about, guys. It's bringing your bodies and your minds back into balance so you can function at your peak. Interesting one here. Do you get enough sleep? How much sleep did you have last night? How much sleep do you plan to get tonight? How much is enough? Did you know 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is often called the golden 4? That's 4 hours there, isn't it? What happens in those 4 hours? And do you get to bed by 10 o'clock? Most people don't tend to, do they? That golden 4 hours, 4 hours of sleep is essential for growth and repair. During that time, growth hormone, testosterone and melatonin are very, very active during this time, and they are going to be very active for growth and repair. Interestingly, the same hormones are involved in burning fat as well. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is crucial for something different, and that's psychological repair. whereas 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., that should say there, is more for physical repair and growth and repair, should I say. We've got some warning signs of health here. According to McDermott and O'Connor, these 10 points, daily meditation and relaxation are signs of health. Maintaining ongoing close relationships is another sign. Being very adaptable to change. Having a craving for physical activity. Have you got one of those? Have a craving for healthy food. Another sign of health. Have acute and chronic attacks of laughter. When was the last time you had a real good laugh? Proper belly laugh where you just can't stop laughing? You've probably heard the phrase, laughter is the best medicine. When we laugh, it produces loads of feel-good chemicals and endorphins in our body, which induce a state of happiness, a state of relaxation, and a state of healing. It's very, very important. That's why having fun, enjoying what you do, loving what you do is really, really good for you. Repeated bouts of hope and optimism are other signs of health. Chronic condition of caring for your body. We've got to care for ourselves. We've got to love ourselves if we want to be truly healthy. Recurrent rejection of worry. In this day and age, a lot of people are worrying all the time, aren't they? They're just terrified about one thing and another. But when we're healthy, we're able to reject that worry and move past it. That's what I do with Ultimate Performance Formula with my coaching clients. What we do is we find out, first of all, what the problem is, and then we focus on solutions. I'm solution-based, we are solution-based. Yeah, establish what the problem is, then look to fix it. We find solutions. That's what we do. So it obviously follows that the opposites of these are true for ill health. Let's have a look at some ways for addressing your mindset, something to help balance the mind. It's called the Sedona method. You may or may not have heard of this. It's really, really simple but very, very effective. It's powerful, easy to learn and duplicate technique that shows you how to uncover your natural ability to let go of any unwanted thought, feeling, belief, or thought in the moment. It's fantastic for boosting energy levels. I recommend it to a lot of my clients. Improves concentration and also improves productivity. How do you do it? Very, very simple to do the Sedona method. It's based on letting go through 3 very simple but profound questions. So, imagine something you want to let go of. Let's use anxiety, for example. Could I let go of this anxiety? Is a question you ask yourself. Next question is, would I? Next question is, when? They're the 3 questions. Very, very simple. And you're looking for a yes, yes, and a now. And you keep on running through these 3, 4, 5 times. So could I let go of this anxiety? Yes. Would I? Yes. When? Now. You're not always going to get yeses. You're not always going to get nows. It's okay to say no and not now. Then ask yourself again, well, could I let go of this? Would I? When? Trying it yourself. Let go of whatever it is you want to let go of. You will notice a sense of peace, a sense of calm, and just chilling out when you do it. It's very simple but very profound. So Is 1 hour enough together? Unfortunately, it's not, guys. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's face it, more information is not what you need. There's plenty of information out there. It's tough doing it on your own, though. It really is. Lots of people out there are trying to make changes in their life and, trying their best, but not quite getting there. What you need really is coaching and accountability to help you achieve your health goals. So what I'd like to do, guys, is offer you the opportunity to continue your education with me. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ultimate Performance Formula 90-day program. This is the silver level group mentoring program that I run. And it starts off with what I call a fast start health breakthrough consultation. Within that breakthrough consultation, this is what you're going to get. So you get a one-to-one private consultation with myself for 2 to 3 hours. It lasts as long as it lasts. Most of them are, somewhere around about 2 hours, but we allow 2 to 3 hours if it's necessary. Within that private consultation, what we'll do is establish how you're eating, how you're moving, and how you're thinking currently. Address what's working, and also address what's not. Make advice accordingly. You'll also get a recording of that conversation as well, and a summary report of what the findings and recommendations are as well. So reviewing how you eat, move, and think. Analysing current nutrition, exercise regime, and also your mindset. Learning what's good and what's not. And then make recommendations accordingly. Then what follows that is implementation group coaching calls, and they are every 2 weeks. What's the purpose of that? Well, these are very, very important, and this is really, once we've done the initial breakthrough consultation, this is where the magic really happens. Here's what you're going to get on the coaching calls. Every fortnight we get together on a group coaching webinar. There's a reason for that, and we celebrate each other's successes and we work through your challenges together. Everybody learns from each other, and a lot of the time what one person asks in a question on their coaching, somebody else might have wanted to ask that question but really didn't know how to. So everybody helps each other, everyone learns from each other, and everybody teaches each other. It's really cool. I also share the latest in health resources and technologies on these coaching calls as well. So all the latest cutting edge stuff that I find and I research, I share with you guys to help improve your health further. You're going to get recordings as well. I'll record each call, and then you can review it at your own leisure. They're MP3 audio, so you can listen to them on your PC, or you can burn them onto your CD and have them out in your car, review it when you're driving. You can also, of course, put it on your iPod or MP3 player or something like that. As Tony Robbins once said many moons ago, repetition is the mother of skill, and it really is. You're going to get a private online community as well, which is a closed group, where on that you'll get your questions answered as they come up. There's loads of fantastic resources on there as well, which will help you along your journey to true health and vitality. You get access to all the great content on there, learn from and support other group members as well. It's a good, great community we've got there. Members tell me that this resource in itself is invaluable. So here's a little summary of what you're going to get there. You're going to get 2 times a month implementation and accountability calls. The fast start consultation starts off, that's where we start off. It's our baseline. It's everything from that point on gets tracked and measured forwards. Those 2 or 3 hours together are £497 value. The coaching calls are £297 per month value. Recordings of all calls is £97 per month value as well. The private online members only community, that in itself is £97 per month value as well. You're also going to get as a bonus, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a bit, Ultimate Performance Formula training modules. That's a £497 value as well. Here's some Ultimate Performance Formula success stories. Phil C. is a professional commodities trader. When he started on the UPF, he said, my goal was to get in the best shape of my life for my wedding, and Ultimate Performance Formula helped me achieve that. I've got great energy now, and I can only see that increasing as the months and years go on. Dee Patel is a business development consultant. She says, before I joined the program, I was all over the place. I was scatty. Since going through the program, I've got my drive and ambition back. I am so happy these days. If you're going to spend your money on a program and you want a massive return on investment, this is it. There's loads and loads more testimonials, which you can check out on my website as well, guys. That's DannyScahill.com, and you go through to the success stories tab, and you can see loads more there too. Here's a bonus I'm going to throw in for you as well, guys, for those of you that take action today. And it's a program I ran and recorded earlier this year. It's called Total Health Transformation. That's an audio series where I interviewed lots of world health experts, and that's £77 value. And in that bonus, the Total Health Transformation program, you'll get the MP3 recordings and also the transcripts of that program. As I said, I interviewed many of the world's leading health experts in that program. And if you're lucky enough to attend any of those live calls, then you'll know just how valuable they were and are. Bonus 2 is the recordings of all UPF Ultimate Performance Formula training modules. That's a £497 value. Module 1 is Optimum Nutrition. Module 2 is Innate Exercise. Module 3 is Master Your Mind. And module 4 is UPF Review, where it all gets reviewed and it all comes together. So, to summarize the 90-day program, here's what you're going to get. Fast start consultation is £497 value. 2 times a month implementation calls, £297 per month. Recordings of all calls, £97 per month. Private online members only community, £97 per month. The total value of what you're going to get is £2,544 of value. You'll see it on my website. I usually charge £3,997 plus VAT for one-to-one coaching, and almost £2,000 plus VAT for the group coaching as well. Don't worry though, your investment tonight is going to be much, much smaller than that. So your investment tonight is going to be just $897 plus VAT. Having said that though, what I really want to do is make it simple and really easy for you guys to get involved in this program and get started as soon as possible. So to secure your place today, what I'm actually going to allow you to do is make a deposit to be able to book your place on the program. It's going to be just £97 to book your to pay your deposit to book your place on the Ultimate Performance Formula program. That's a 90-day program, and once I've got the deposit from you there, then we'll schedule a time to go through a further consultation, take the payment to make it up to the $897 plus VAT there are payment plans available as well, and we'll go from there. So the balance would be settled before the fast start consultation as well. So as I said, payment plans are available. There's a 2-pay option available. What that would mean would be you would pay the 97 deposit today, and then one payment would happen then before you start on the program, which is 50% of what's remaining. And then after the first 30 days of the program, then the balance would be paid. So with the 2-pay option, what that actually is 2 times 497 plus VAT, one payment up front and the final payment after 30 days. Obviously that 97 deposit will be knocked off this as well. So don't worry if you're thinking, well, how am I going to afford this? There's a 100% no risk guarantee. If after spending 2 to 3 hours with me on your fast start consultation, you're not 1,000% happy with what you'll achieve by being on the program, then you can have your money back. Why am I doing this? Well, it's this simple. I only want to work with delighted and motivated clients. I want this to be win-win-win. Everybody's a winner. That is the only way I work these days. So this special offer tonight, there's only actually 3 places available for the group coaching. 3 places are currently available for Ultimate Performance Formula Group Coaching Program. So do yourself a favor, guys, and secure your place now. This here is a link for the to make your 97 deposit tonight. What I'll actually do is put that link in the question box, so you can click on that link and go through and get this special deal tonight, guys. So just to recap, this 97 deposit offer is only available for the next 24 hours. At midnight tomorrow, it's going to expire, unfortunately. I've never given away a deposit here on this program. It's usually people pay in full before they start. So this makes it a bit easier for you. 97 deposits, and then we settle the balance before the program starts, or there is a payment plan option, of course.